Hi there, my name is Yasmin Robles with Robles Designs, and in today's video, I'm going to go over what you need to do before starting your website refresh. This is perfect for you if you already have a site, or even if you don't have a site yet, but you're looking to create one. If you already have a site, these are great steps for you to take before starting to look for another designer or just starting to DIY it yourself. Do it yourself, and they're just some steps that will save you a lot of time, and it'll help you strategize before diving into the techie stuff. As I mentioned, my name is Yasmin Robles with Robles Designs, where we create drill-worthy websites and brands for entrepreneurs who are hell-bent on taking over the world. And make sure to share this video with someone or to like and subscribe. It will really help, as well as make sure to put your questions in the comments with any of these topics or any other questions about websites that you might have. So the first thing you want to make sure you completely understand is your analytics. And this means that you'll go into Google Analytics, Google Search Console, going into the back end. So if you have something like Squarespace, they might have some analytics for you as well. So make sure you completely understand what your user is doing. So what are the best performing pages, blog posts, what is the content that really jives with people as they've been coming to your site. Even if you have a small amount of, or a small audience coming to your site, just make sure that you understand which pages are being mostly frequented, and then look through your social media and see what you're actually linking to. So if you haven't linked to any blog posts, but you do have a very popular blog post, that could be a signal that either the topic was great, maybe that you should keep blogging, or anything like that. Just have all this information, because you don't want to make a mistake of getting rid of a page that is actually really beneficial to your business when the analytics shows it, but just because you haven't looked through the data, that doesn't, you might get rid of it and then things will drop. So make sure you're looking through your analytics, reporting if you have an e-commerce site, anything that will be helpful, any number sort of stuff. You want to look through that stuff first. The second thing you want to think about is a user journey. And what this means is that if you're putting yourself in your user's shoes, how did they hear about you and about your website? They had to have heard about it somewhere, whether it's social media or somebody referred them. They didn't just come up with the domain name and type it in. So you want to make sure you understand where they're coming from and what their goals are when they get there. So if you're an e-commerce site, their number one goal could be to purchase that dress, right? It could be to purchase some new shoes. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that their goal is, that you're helping them meet that goal. So if you're a service-based business, let's say you are a co-working space, then your goal is to get them to book a tour. Whether it's virtual or in person, you want them to book a tour to visit the space, and you want to talk to them about memberships. So everything on your site should guide the user through that journey, and keeping in mind their own goals. So if they are coming to your site for a particular thing, then you want to make sure that you are easing them into it, and that you're not just giving them all of these options and they're very confused and they might not even go the route that you want them to go. So keep the user journey in mind, keep the user journey that you want them to take in mind, and then make sure you understand what their goals are when they come to your website. Now I want you to look at your current site and make sure that you understand completely what you're going to add and subtract from the site. So if there are services that you no longer offer, make sure to jot that down as something that you're going to take away. Or if there is a new service offering, a new course, make sure that you are jotting that down as something that you will add in. Also, as you're working through this, make sure that you're reading through your copy and sifting through the details, making sure everything is accurate, because again, so at this portion, this third step would be to subtract and add things in. And if you don't notice that maybe your old location is still listed on your website, you might not actually change that out. So make sure you go through, especially look at bios and services offered, so that you can go through and remove things that are not important anymore, that you really, even if you do still offer a service, you don't really want to put the emphasis on it anymore. Make sure that you're jotting these notes down. Next, you want to look over your entire brand, and this is more of a visual thing where you'll want to have your logo in front of you, your website in front of you, any branded assets, any print items, brochures, menus, anything like that. You want to have it in front of you, and you want to make sure that everything is looking cohesive with the website. So if, for example, you have some menu that you printed out for people who come to your restaurant and it is, very luxurious looking, but your website looks very rustic, then jot these things down, because there is a big disconnect between what is being displayed online and what is being shown to clients when they come in, or customers when they come in through the door. Make sure that the whole entire brand is really providing the same message and the same feeling. So even if they don't read anything, can they still tell that your brand is really super feminine or really masculine? Can they jive with the brand, or is it very disconnected where on your social media you might use a lot of pink and on your website you don't use any, and then on your print items you use a lot of green, and it's just a very big disconnect between clients going from one place to another, and it's not recognizable, it's not consistent. So make sure you're noting any inconsistencies in the brand assets. At this point, you'll want to gather new copy. So you'll know what is working, what isn't working, what you're going to take away, what you're going to add in, and you want to start revamping your copy. So go through your homepage, about page, all of these, and start rewriting the copy to match your current aesthetics, to match your current vocabulary. Make sure that it's well branded so that you're not using words that would feel weird with that brand. So if you like to be a little sassy with your brand, make sure that that is being replicated in the copy as well. Go through and start creating those new service pages, a new service copy, explain the process, explain the why, the benefits, the features, and gather some new testimonials. Just anything new in terms of copy, start gathering it now so that you can pop it into this website when you are ready to build. Finally, one of the fun parts about a website refresh is getting to get new photography. So if you have the budget, make sure you schedule your photo session a couple of weeks before you actually want to start implementing the stuff onto your website. And this is to give the photographer enough time, one, to be able to be booked, and then two, give the photographer enough time for editing, which for me, it's typically only taken a couple days just because I found really great photographers, but it could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the photographer to get back to you. So you want to make sure you have enough of a time frame before you start your website build out. And then you want to make sure you're collecting like on Pinterest or even screenshots of images that you really like, how people are posed, maybe the aesthetic, the background, anything like that. Make sure you're collecting them for your photographer, and then have your photo shoot. Now, if you don't have the budget for a photo shoot, that is no worries. Make sure you go and spend a little money on some really good stock photos. Creative Market is a great place to go, but don't go all out. I would say really maybe 5 images at most would be really great. And even if you get free open source images that you can use on your business website, then about, I would say 3 to 5 really is sufficient to give that refresh. Focus on the pages that are really where you're going to lead people to. So the homepage, about page, maybe some of the services pages, those are the ones that really need this great eye candy. The other pages could still maintain your old stock photos or your old images, as long as you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking about that budget and when you're going to be able to refresh those images as well. That is it. So to recap, you're going to want to look over your analytics, get some new copy, some new images, look through what you want to take away and add back in, look over your brand and make sure it's looking consistent, and always keep in mind the user journey that you want them to take and the goal that they have when they land on your site. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, or make sure to like, subscribe, and do all those cool things. Check us out on Instagram at Ropeless Design Studio. And for the full blog post, make sure to check out our website, ropelessdesigns.com. And until the next video, bye.